What's the process for a felony expungement in Claremore? The felony expungement process can be confusing. A felony conviction can affect nearly every aspect of a person's life long after a criminal case is over. Employment opportunities, housing applications, professional licenses, educational opportunities, firearm rights, and personal reputation may all be impacted by a felony record. Oklahoma law allows certain individuals to seek expungement of felony records under limited circumstances, but the process can be highly technical, and eligibility depends heavily on the specific facts of each case. What is a felony expungement? In Oklahoma, an expungement generally refers to a court order sealing criminal records from public access. When an expungement is granted, the records are removed from most public databases and become inaccessible to employers, landlords, and the general public. However, expunged records may still remain available to certain law enforcement agencies, courts, and government entities under limited circumstances. An expungement does not necessarily erase a criminal record entirely, but it can significantly reduce public visibility of a criminal record and improve future opportunities. Not every felony qualifies for expungement. One of the first steps in the process is determining whether the felony offense is legally eligible for expungement under Oklahoma law. Eligibility often depends on the type of felony offense, whether the conviction was dismissed, deferred, or fully completed, the amount of time that has passed, whether additional convictions exist, and whether the offense qualifies as violent under Oklahoma law. Some violent felonies, sex offenses, and other serious crimes may be permanently excluded from expungement eligibility or subject to major restrictions. Because Oklahoma expungement statutes are highly specific, reviewing the exact court records and criminal history is extremely important before filing. Waiting periods often apply. Even when a felony qualifies, Oklahoma law frequently requires a waiting period before a person can file for expungement. The waiting period may vary depending on whether the case resulted in a conviction, whether probation or parole was completed, whether all fines and costs were paid, and whether the individual remained free of additional criminal convictions. In some situations, individuals who received deferred sentences and successfully completed probation may become eligible sooner than individuals convicted and sentenced to incarceration. Failing to satisfy the waiting period requirements may result in denial of the petition. The process begins with reviewing criminal records. Before filing an expungement petition, it is important to gather and review all relevant criminal records. This often includes court records, OSBI criminal history reports, arrest records, disposition information, and sentencing documents. Errors in criminal records are not uncommon, and identifying inaccuracies early can be important to the success of the case. Careful review also helps determine whether multiple cases or prior offenses may affect eligibility. Filing the expungement petition. If the individual qualifies, the next step is filing a formal petition for expungement in the appropriate Oklahoma court. The petition generally outlines the criminal case information, the legal basis for expungement, why the individual qualifies under Oklahoma law, and the relief you are seeking. The petition must usually be served on multiple agencies and entities, including prosecutors, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, arresting agencies, and other interested parties. Because procedural requirements are strict, mistakes in filing or service may delay the process or result in denial. Prosecutors and agencies may object. After you file a petition, prosecutors or law enforcement agencies may object to the request. Objections sometimes involve claims regarding public safety concerns, criminal history, the seriousness of the offense, and alleged ineligibility under the statute. In some cases, agencies do not oppose the expungement. In others, contested hearings may occur where both sides present arguments to the court. The court balances competing interests. At the hearing, the judge generally balances the individual's privacy and rehabilitation interests against the public's interest in maintaining access to the criminal record. Courts may consider the seriousness of the offense, the person's conduct since the conviction, employment history, rehabilitation efforts, community involvement, and lack of additional criminal activity. Strong evidence of rehabilitation and stability often becomes important during the hearing process. If granted, agencies must seal the records. If the court grants the expungement, the court issues an order directing the appropriate agencies to seal or restrict public access to the records. This process may take additional time because multiple agencies and databases must update their records. In some situations, private background check companies may also need to update their systems afterwards. An expungement comes with several benefits, including the restoration of certain rights, such as the ability to own firearms. Claremore expungement attorneys. Felony expungements in Oklahoma can become legally complex, especially when there are multiple cases, older convictions, deferred sentences, or allegations of violent offenses. Because a felony record can continue to affect employment, housing, professional licensing, and personal opportunities for years, individuals seeking a fresh start should carefully evaluate whether expungement relief is available under Oklahoma law. If you want to seek an expungement or need help understanding the process, contact our team of expungement attorneys here at Claremore Attorneys. For a free and confidential consultation, call us at 918-379-4872 or use our Ask a Lawyer feature.